Winter changes everything out here in the mountains. It is not just about comfort, it is about survival. The air gets colder. The days get shorter and every mistake becomes more expensive. That cabin behind me was not just a home, it was months of preparation, every piece of firewood stacked with purpose. Every box of supplies carefully planned because once the snow comes down hard, you do not get a second chance. You either prepare or you suffer, and I made sure I was ready. I spent months getting everything in place, late evenings, cutting wood early mornings, organizing supplies, making sure every detail was covered, because I had seen what winter could do out here, and I was not going to take that risk. Everything was finally set. The wood stacks were solid, the supplies were full, the cabin was ready for once. Everything felt right until they showed up. 3 women walking through the snow like they owned the entire mountain, bright red vests, confident steps, and that look, the kind that tells you they are not here to ask, they are here to tell. Right behind them was Mrs. Carter, an elderly woman from nearby. Quiet, worried, watching everything unfold. One of the women stepped forward. "You cannot keep all this here." Her tone was sharp, like she had already made the decision for me. I looked at her for a second, then back at my supplies. "It is my property." That should have ended the conversation, but it did not. It never does with people like them. They started talking all at once: rules, regulations, safety concerns. None of it made sense, because nothing I had done was wrong. This was not about safety. This was about control. I stayed calm, told them clearly, "I am not moving anything." That is when their attitude shifted. The smiles disappeared, and something colder took its place. One of them laughed, a short, sharp laugh, like she found the whole situation amusing. That was the moment I realized this was not over. They stepped closer, pointing at the wood stacks, talking louder, trying to pressure me, but I did not move. I did not argue. I just stood there, and eventually they left, or at least it looked like they did. Because what happened next changed everything. I went inside for a few minutes, just enough time to grab something warm, and when I stepped back outside, something felt wrong at first. It was just a smell, faint, but unmistakable smoke. I turned quickly, and saw it, a small flame right at the edge of the wood stack. For a second I thought I could handle it, put it out before it spread, but the wind had other plans. Within seconds, that small flame grew. It jumped from one log to another, climbing higher, faster, hungry. I ran toward it, trying to stop it, kicking snow, throwing whatever I could, but it was already out of control. The fire spread like it had been waiting for this moment, and then I saw them standing at a distance, watching, not panicking, not surprised, watching and smiling. That was the moment everything became clear. This was not an accident. They did this. The flames grew higher, engulfing the stacks, reaching toward the cabin. The heat became unbearable. Smoke filled the air, turning everything dark. The elderly woman stood frozen, her face filled with shock, while they just stood there. Like it was entertainment. By the time I realized how bad it was already too late. The fire had taken everything. The cabin caught flames, tearing through the structure, destroying months of work. In minutes, I stepped back helpless, watching everything burn. There was nothing left to do, nothing left to save, just fire, and lost sirens broke through the chaos. Fire trucks pushing through the snow, lights flashing, water spraying, but even that was not enough, because some damage cannot be undone. When the flames finally died down, all that remained was smoke, ash, and silence. The place that once felt secure now looked empty, broken, gone. I stood there, not saying a word, just looking at what was left. Everything I had built reduced to nothing. But this was not the end, because unlike them, I understood something: actions have consequences, and this time those consequences were not going to be ignored. The investigation started immediately. Neighbors spoke, the elderly woman spoke, and the truth came out faster than they expected. Witnesses, evidence, everything pointed straight at them. The same people who laughed now could not even look up, because now it was real. No more control, no more power, just accountability. They tried to explain, tried to justify, but there was no explanation that could fix what they had done. The case moved forward, and piece by piece, everything was exposed, every action, every decision laid out clearly. There was no escaping it, no avoiding it, and when the final decision came, it hit harder than they ever expected. They lost everything: financially, legally, reputation gone. The same confidence they walked in with was completely gone. And as for me, I started again, stronger, smarter, more prepared. Because sometimes you do not get justice immediately, but when it comes, it changes everything. I rebuilt, step by step, log by log, making sure this time nothing could be taken away so easily. And as I stood there once again looking at the new cabin, the fresh stacks, the clean start, one thing was clear. They thought they could destroy everything. They thought they were untouchable. But they were wrong, because no matter how powerful someone thinks they are, the truth always catches up. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more stories like this.